Hi folks, we are back at the World Cup in round 4. We're going to continue with our coverage of the match between Slovenia and Germany F. And game 3 I unfortunately had to miss, but Saraaa was kind enough to record it, so Slovenia won the first two and it's 2-0 at the moment. So we're going to watch Baratheon trading with Qohor against Tyrell Whitebook, and we are going to have a quick look at the deck. So Qohor we know. We can say, I think, have we recorded Qohor before in this tournament? I think we have the one against Salt, right?
You recorded that?
I think I did, yeah. So we've seen the deck before, but yeah, just another quick look. So basically it's the same old, except for Beric is here, the new card that is available. So he is a renowned character that has a great reaction, can lock something either during challenges or for basically the standing phase, and you can even combine it a little bit, right, with Warhammer, kneel something, and then later Beric can lock it. And he's quite good if you can get him to work. And because of that, rationing is gone from the plot deck, because King in the North and rationing would be two plots that block him, and Saraaa has decided to include barring the gates, which I think was a good decision, and we see it played, I think, in this game.
Yeah, I think it always depends on the matchup, and I've gotten a few games where I really needed barring in testing before World Cup, but honestly, with the games that I played in World Cup, barring wasn't useful until now, and here rationing would have been good as well, but I think barring is also nice if you can time it correctly.
Yeah, the white book reaction, very strong one, but also the white swords plot. Of course, you can block that. That's 7 gold sometimes, or 6 or 5 at least. And yes, also there's some ambush and some shadows. Not that strong here, but just Robert strong from shadows. I mean, he can change games, so you're safe from that, I guess, those rounds. And yeah, this is the deck, so there's nothing too weird here. It plays the normal Doharis. I think we saw one in a previous round that played Mad King's Command. This one is pretty normal. Political disaster, King in the North, everything. So yeah, nothing weird here.
Yeah, I think I like, obviously King in the North usually works for me, and I think political disaster is like a dead plot here. But the one thing that was a bit sketchy in testing is they play Maiden and the White Swords, and that loses initiative for me. My plots are not that high initiative, and if they win and have Marjorie, that's problematic, and it's also especially problematic if there is Pinch. I think Pinch is the hardest to defend against.
Yeah, on the other hand, there is also 2 copies of Hand's Judgment, which do nothing, so that could be good. And there is some tempo hit that usually Tyrell is happy to accept, and then they're fine. They can get the board from that, right? They play the Arbor, and then, okay, White Swords into Baristan, and the opponent is not going to rush away with the game if you take that tempo hit. But against Qohor, I mean, they can go remarkably fast, so can't really be wasting too much time with that, so we'll see. I can tell you that I have not watched the entire game, so unfortunately I had to miss the start. I know the result, obviously, but interested in seeing how the early rounds went. So if you are ready, Saraaa, we can click play on this game. So I'll count down 3, 2, 1 and play. So there we are. We can see it from Sarah's perspective. So opening hand with no econ, but
yeah, but
other good cards.
You have Robert and the 2-caster, and that's usually a good setup, and also a lot of characters here that need milk, so I think of keeping this one.
I would
And
have
also,
probably mulliganed
think,
again with no econ, but okay.
yeah, I don't know. I think also here you have this acolyte of the shadowed acolyte. I forgot, but
Yeah, of the shadow.
he can draw you cards actually pretty commonly because they would put something like Knights of Flowers or something like that in shadows, and that has a hard time coming out. But here I'm kind of worried that is pinch, but yeah. There's potential here with this opening. I think also Peter said that they would open with white swords, but it's okay for me if they open with white swords. Then I have almost guaranteed an initiative the next round against against their maiden, and I don't think it's worth to play barring the gates first round because it also has a bit weak econ for you, and then you have to play maiden the next round, and you're tied with initiative, and yeah.
Yeah, but now we have Baratheon coming in, 7 coster, and we have the Arbor there, plus the fact that you have no attachments in place, so there will be a lot of gold for Kim here.
Yeah.
And you still draw into no econ, but honestly, the rest of the hand is good. If Selisi was there, I mean, look at all the reductions she would provide also.
Mm-hmm.
But Kim takes some more tempo hit actually with that high tower. Now for the rest of the game he is incredibly well set to get cards and gold. And he's going first
Yeah,
with
I
a
think
non-kneeling knight, so it's not too bad.
one thing that was also I think in testing I found annoying. If you play supporting the fate and they have one of the knights that come in for free and they get you gold, it's pretty problematic. So I have Melisandre and I have Milk, and it's not great because it's really bad with econ and no positive attachments, which you usually want, but have to be happy with this one, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
there
too bad
was
at all.
an option to play the Chads and Lightbringer or Zorahai even.
Yeah, but this way I'm winning intrigue and possibly winning on attacking. He can have one of the other knights that come in, but now there's no threat for pinch, I think.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, there is if High Tower Knight comes in, High Tower
Yeah,
itself
but
will draw one, but
strength-wise, you know.
yeah, strength doesn't work out. And you can't afford to lose board state, I presume, here, so we'll see Robert defend this.
Yeah, and I'm just calculating if the knight comes in, if I can defend the power that Robert gets.
By the way, I should probably mute this. There's yeah, I did record some sound with it. Yeah, and this card now cannot come out, but you are over reserve anyway. And there was a High Tower Knight.
Yeah, and I'm happy he comes in now, not later.
Yeah, Jamie, but of course White Swords can put him straight back. And you're not going to trade your milk, right? There's no panic for Morgulis in this particular match. In this particular game, I should say, so can't, you don't need the bodyguards that desperately, and of course if things get pinched then bodyguards suck anyway.
Yeah, so now I think this challenge doesn't matter, I still do it, but he wins, he defends, he doesn't have power on the faction card, and then he gets dominance because of the extra goals. So,
yeah, I mean, you could trigger Qohor in theory.
Yeah, but...
And now
I'm looking already what I wanted to throw out for reserve.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So the problem is you have duplicates of attachments. Of course, with Qohor you want to loop them. You don't want to have them in the discard pile. And you probably don't want to lose the characters here either. So I'm guessing Disputed Claim is going to go, and probably one of the Lightbringers.
Well, I like Disputed Claim, but it would be nice to have an extra renowned character, so I'm thinking maybe I just throw away.
I wouldn't throw Shira. I mean, she's the cheap lady that can be aired into Barrick or something. Well, Melisandre trigger obviously you can get with attachments anyway, but Angui, sure, also good. There is the Harris, by the way, for Tyrell, as we said, so it's a little bit awkward that Robert and Melisandre cannot survive it together.
Yeah, but if I put in Angui, he can probably survive. And now I'm thinking what's the best to go, but yeah, I think second round supporting is usually the one that... Okay, and with the maiden now I have initiative, and I have some attachments that can come in and finally an equal location, even though it's not gonna be active for this round, but yeah.
Yeah, just short of being able to play that Barrick, yeah, you wouldn't anyway. Yeah, Claim Soak has to come in, I think. So you can spend the gold, of course, now because of supporting. You don't need to. Well, actually, Baratheon, apart from being able to bestow on seized if you bring it in, there is never really any reason to leave gold, apart from if you want to fight for dominance, I guess.
Yeah, and you do have hunting accident.
So Barristan goes. Now what? Angui and the Reducer, or do we presumably we do the Lightbringer? The other one's gone, so and one is in hand. If you want to stand Robert, has to be this one that comes in.
And you want something to trade into Warhammer if an opportunity comes, but also I'm looking if there's something strong coming in, there's so much gold, right? You want to have some strength with Red God's Blessing as well.
Yeah. And Robert is participating anyway. So okay, keep the Lightbringer. So what's the situation with Nightmares in the Tyrell deck? There is some, right?
Two, but yeah, pretty frustrating. This was the one in the Card in Shadow, and gets the trigger even in the marshalling, so now yeah, it's a bit frustrating with this.
Well, at least it comes out, so no more.
But yeah, I'm
wondering.
thinking now, okay, intrigue is a bit weak, and can try to intimidate on intrigue, and there is not gonna be another Night of Flower trigger, probably. But Jamie comes in, and that's the intrigue covered. And in a moment, you can see me counting how much intrigue I have.
Yeah, I mean, with the smallest character, the Acolyte, it's 10, and I think that's already. Oh, actually, I'm looking at Night of Flowers, so Jamie can be used on Barristan.
Yeah.
So Melisandre would have to do right here.
Yeah, I made the same calculation as you, I think, because I was counting and I was sure that I have enough with the little one. And I did misplay here.
And yeah, that's not great because they stand on defense.
Yeah. I think as I pressed, I realized that it's gonna go on Baristan and defend, but yeah.
Did you punch the wall at this point, maybe?
Hmm?
Did you punch the wall?
I did not punch the wall.
Okay.
I was feeling that I'm losing a little bit here, but not still losing massively because I have Mad King's command and I have some decent cards in hand still.
Well, now they cannot stand anymore, so if Melisandre goes power, it would take a lot to defend. And of course, if it's under defended, then you can go into Warhammer. But he can still leave a lot of stuff standing, I think that's the problem. If everyone attacks, of course, it's 13. Which means 3 defenders. Of course, Robert stays standing for this, so then he still has another challenge in theory. And
it would be pretty good if you could get this Red God's Blessing then into Lightbringer, but yeah, can't happen. Because there's 2 and the one's gone, the one's in hand.
It puts all the renown stuff in as well, which means now Robert can win military. I think 14 was enough, so couldn't defend it with Baratheon and Hedge Knight and 13. No, attacked with 13. Okay, so now never mind.
Baratheon, Hedge Knight, and Knight of Flowers will be enough.
But then it's still
and
8-8,
yeah. 8-8.
Now the problem is that he can claim the milked character, right?
Yeah.
At the moment, that's one attachment that could go into Warhammer, although honestly that milk is fine on Green Apple Knight, you don't want it unmilked, but now that it's gone, what do we do?
I was thinking...
Warhammer, or do we Hunting Accident? I mean, you could also place Seal of the Hand, right?
Two challenges now. He can do 2 challenges, and with Jamie both would get renown. So I'm thinking that I probably want to take Warhammer.
Interesting.
And I'm thinking that probably don't want to be losing intrigue at this point. I think that I go, or do I go for power anyway? Okay, so I go for power. Should have really nailed the intrigue icon, but I was scared you can go too fast.
Okay, so you can't lose the Melisandre trigger now. There's 2 cards that trigger her, so you're fine on that front. And
I just don't want to lose Barrick mostly.
Barrick, if you are going to play Mad King's Command, of course, Barrick is too expensive.
Unless a Disputed Claim was probably the best card to lose. Although, if I plan to play Barrick, I think Angui could go as well.
Well, 6-6, but the problem is, of course, the board state now with the 3 huge Kingsguards there. Suddenly it's going to be more and more difficult to push challenges through. Do we have a chance to play King in the North? So that loses the Melisandre Nil. Yeah, that achieves very little, I think. Has to be... I'd play Mad King's Command here.
Yeah.
Of course, the problem is that it's not exactly 3-on-3 against this deck, especially with all the gold they have. They could get the shadows, of course, and
What
stuff
I'm
like
thinking is,
Hightower Knight.
what I'm thinking with this is, if I get one Melisandre Nil, and you kind of have to keep one of them, and if there's nothing in shadows, that it will stay knelt, and yeah, I think that he can swarm all the knights in, right in, yeah.
And he plays King in the North, so now Melisandre Nil. But then he loses his own stand as well with Knight of Flowers, and his King's Road, which doesn't matter that much. He has plenty of econ. He's losing Hightower, which honestly, you could use one in marshalling and then another one in challenges if you can manage to get a Tyrell card in. Refill your hand a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking if I can marshal Beric as well.
So you can play one more attachment. The rest would be wasted then for the plot. So Warhammer on Robert and that King's Road seems like the thing to do. Then you should be able to play Beric next round, I think, with King's Road.
I think I should be able to. I know I can play Beric without the King's Road, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thinking if I want to do Lightbringer, but then Lightbringer would have to probably go into Hunting Accident, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, Robert with the Zora High and Warhammer, that's really the dream. So, I mean, you can trade stuff into the Warhammer, but... okay. Go Lightbringer. Lightbringer, of course, doesn't trigger this round either.
Is on Robert already, you know.
What is? Warhammer?
Warhammer.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Didn't spot that. Yeah, then it makes sense, of course. And you keep 3 cards in hand, so pretty decent.
Depending on what the strength situation is, I think you could do Warhammer and Melisandre for the strength boost as well, but...
Next round, actually, it will be a little bit dodgy with the Melisandre Nil, because if you want to play Beric, he is not a lore. You need to play Angui. And he goes
but
for 13 gold.
But if I play something like the Smith or something like that, then I have enough gold to play both, I think.
So he keeps 13 gold after that bounty, which is interesting, because, I mean, you can do so much with 13 in Tyrell, but mostly from shadows, not really from hand.
Yeah, there's 2 shadow spies. Hightower spies? And I think if he has to put them in challenges, that's kind of waste, because no triggers from Hightower as well as no triggers from them.
Yeah, honestly, King in the North is not good here. I mean...
Yeah, also blocks Jaime, and
yeah,
if you have some shadows, blocks Knight of Flowers ability as well.
You can target now. You can start with that intrigue that you couldn't last round really because of his ability, and then you get the intimidate sequence. That's the problem. I mean, it seemed predictable that Matkins command would be played. And yeah, King in the North. I mean, okay, you get your Melisandre trigger, you get your King's Road for potentially for Beric and stuff like that, but yeah, he gets for sure Hightower trigger.
Yeah, so by the way, this was now me checking in the background how much strength those Hightower spies have on their own. So I can win the intrigue for sure, even if they come in just to defend.
I think they're 2 strength. So if 2 of them come in, that would be 8. So
yeah, which means that I have to put in Melisandre, which I do just in case.
Yeah. And by the way, pretty awful.
I can tell, that's why I'm clicking so slow.
Pretty awful to Harris now for Kim. So if you start winning, which you are kind of now, he's really can keep only one character against Robert and Acolyte, which is not great. But yeah, should be ambush now coming in, right? Yeah, just needed something from Shadows. I mean, it's King in the North, so no Mendon Moore, no Robert Strong triggers, but I mean, Robert Strong has great strength. Stops one challenge basically from either wins it or it stops the big intimidate. So would be nice to have something like
I mean,
that.
yeah, he for sure wins military, right?
Okay, so something getting intimidated now. Well, that's not bad. That would have been 2 extra power this challenge and more later. Luckily doesn't stop the Warhammer giving him intimidate.
Yeah, and now he's down to 1 card. And I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking it's gonna for sure be traded. The attachment has to be traded into hunting accident, but just in case I put in the Red God's Blessing in between. I don't know.
Yeah, can't attack into them if you don't win, so no military because they stand on defense. Have to do this sequence. And
Yeah, I
now,
mean, I
yeah.
could have gotten unopposed intrigue if I went with power first, but I couldn't win.
And that Mark Malendor discarded for reserve earlier. This is exactly the kind of card that could have been useful if it's not King in the North.
It was discarded for intrigue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking that is this going to be a problem if he now he can just kill the one that has hunting accident, but honestly, if he kills Barristan, that's
I mean, Knight of Flowers is double duped. But then if he is going to do Harris, it's not a good do Harris for him, that's the thing. He's somehow got out of this round with card disadvantage as well, which seemed so improbable in Tyrell.
yeah. And now I'm feeling that unless something really crazy happens, should be winning this one.
Yeah, and look at that Nightmares now, right? So that would have been, what, 5 power for Robert's ability.
Yeah.
So probably should have played the Maiden somehow to have better control of initiative. And here we go, yeah. Tried that White Swords to get another character in, but that's blocked, so that's a problem. You can still top deck your way out of trouble with Hightower a little bit.
To go first now, even though you don't have like reliable Marjorie or something.
Well, it's good for playing Barrick and the Lore trigger anyway. So just maybe a Green Apple Knight would be okay. Trigger Hightower from it.
Yeah, but if it's Green Apple Knight, I can deal it.
Okay, there's a bit of board.
Yeah, some strength increases.
So I can play everything except the Dragonstone port here, really.
I'm just calculating if I'm not wrong because it's good to have the mail trigger.
Well, yeah, everything turns around when Tyrell has a challenge they can't defend.
If he has the High Tower Spy, I don't think he can win. I think the one thing that would win him, that would stop me from winning would be either if he had Milk, which he didn't, and another Nightmares would also be okay.
Yeah, the thing is, Robert is expandable here because
He's participating.
yeah, he'll be in the challenge because of the attachment. Of course, Baring is revealed, so no High Tower Spy here.
And also, I was thinking if I have to Beric, but I had Beric for the attack if there was something that would happen that I would have to go to another round, but I don't think there was much chances here. And honestly, surprisingly good game for me because there was a lot of annoying stuff that White Book can play, and I actually lost with this, I think almost exact deck in one of the friendly open tournaments against White Book that I think Mad was playing at the time. I was a bit scared, but had some luck.
Yeah, and it's the first win for
Brings us to
Qohor.
3-0.
Yeah, would be pretty disappointing to lose from here. So we know actually how the round has finished now, but we can bring you the other games. So this was game 3. Game 4, I think you... was it Katya or was it your game first? Not sure. So I recorded
I think
both
this is
of
Katya
them.
before, and then mine was 5th.
Yeah, I recorded those, and it's without commentary, and we're running really out of time to record commentary for some of those games later. Honestly, the Lenny Stark Crossing game
Was very sad.
wasn't much of a game, so I played that against Marcus, and Marcus just got the cards and you didn't, and was over pretty quickly. And then actually the Targaryen game that Katya played against Myrtle Hollow Hill was more interesting, so it was a good start, but yeah, of course they stole it just in time, and of course in the late game are invincible. That was a good game. I wish we recorded it with commentary. We did try, but somehow the connection wasn't good enough at the time, and now that we failed to record commentary, probably is going to be lost because it's next round.
It's a long game, and
already starting. So the next, we can tell you that it went 3-2 from here, and the next game, I think we'll show you, is going to be game 6. So hopefully you join us for that one.
Bye bye.